So today I'm making a start on my original Pokemon poster. This is just kind of like a bit of a fun project. So this is an example of what I'm making for all 150 Pokemon. So first I gotta make a blank on this machine. Basically just machine these two edges, put a little radius on there, make them pretty, just so they're the right size. And then on this machine, I'm basically engraving them. So you might wonder why I'm doing this. Well, that machine basically sits all day doing nothing because it's for sale, and it doesn't have a tool changer without making one. So really it's kind of redundant. So as a little side project, you know, I'm going to machine all these plates today, which is only going to maybe take, you know, a couple hours. There's like 180 here or something. And then I can put them on that machine and just leave it running through the day while I actually do productive worky stuff. But I think they look pretty neat. And then this is just a plastic backing I make on 3D printer, so I can pin this to the wall. So when you walk into my reception area, there's going to be the full Pokemon poster. So first things first is setting this up. Now, because I want to cut a little radius on this, I've got to space this off here. And then I use these shims as well, these parallels, basically to set the height, more or less. And also this stop and this block to set the X. I'm not going to run coolant because it's a kind of a waste of time on this part. So first things first, I'm going to set the start coordinates. So I'm using a tool setter. Set this going at, oops. So selecting G54. So set this going at 1000 RPM. Then I'm going to move in Y. And the way these work is once they hit the edge, it'll shift to the side. So I was incrementing that 1,000th. So I'm just going to move back 1,000th. Because the tip of this is 0.2, that means Y coordinate is going to be 0.1. I'm going to do the same with X. Move it until it offsets, which is there. Move back 1,000, and then this X is going to be minus 0.1. And then just one last thing. I've got an extra 16th per side on this, so I'm just going to move in a 16th. Which is about 62 thou, and then just set that as 0. The tool I'm going to use is just any old tool. Uncoated carbide works pretty well. And this tool, because I use it for profiling, I'm only really using this. So on these I get to use the side, just get a bit more life out of this tool. Go. Put this back so I don't damage it. No. And then just to make things easy, tool number 10, I'll make sure my offset is 0, which it is. Move down. 54. So there's a few ways of setting these tools. Some people use the paper method. So some people use the paper method. I like to use the light method. So you basically just shine light under the tool and move down. And when you see the light disappear, that's 0. You shouldn't really do that on hard materials because if you go an extra thou, you could potentially chip the cutter. But on aluminium it's fine, so Z0. My program, execute. So I put in auto, I'll press go. So whenever you do milling, you want to put your rapid rate at as slow as possible, unless you're confident it's going to be right. So it says we're at Z.6. I'm looking at this, I'm about 0.6 away from the material. So the Z looks correct. I know what the program's going to do, and it is going to start from over there. So just like that. So if I wanted this part to be super accurate, that is what I would have done. But these don't have to be. So I did 2 or 3, I can't remember, 2 roughing passes and then 2 finishing. Really, I should just do 1 roughing and then 1 finishing. But you can see they're nice and pretty. They don't have to be accurate. So 1 down. 180 to go. So I'll just show quickly what I mean with setting up with the parallels. So that's my stop block there. Put the parallels in. Put it up like that. Clamp it. And then just pull everything out and then press go. But I'm gonna modify this program because that was pretty slow. Okay, so this is what it should be like. And basically repeat that 180 times. And now obviously when I've done this, I can actually do some real work. But that's just setting me up for this thing to run for the next maybe week or 2. Thought I'd just show you a close-up of this while he's running. So see, that's basically it. So I'm doing a small step over. I can't remember exactly what it is, but I'm going one way to cut it out, and then I go back the other way just to clean it up. I could probably just go in one direction and these would come out just fine. Probably save me half the time, but again, it's running in the background, and time doesn't really matter on this thing. I'll just show the cutter I'm using, because I got the same cutter in all my machines. So you can see that this is technically either a spot drill or an engraving cutter. So the tip radius of this is 30 thou, I believe. So if I wanted super detail, I'd go a smaller radius. But the smaller radius you go, you've got to step every single pass even finer, so it would take way longer. So this radius combined with the part just works out right. I mean, they still take an hour to run. The spindle speed on that machine's only, I think, 4,500 RPM. So it's a pretty slow machine. Of course, I could put it on my other mill, which is like 10 or 12,000. But really, I don't want to be taking time upon a machine that I could actually be doing actual work on. Kind of like what I'm doing with this. But you get the idea. So now this piece is done. So these clamps have got like a taper on them. So when I clamp down, it pushes the clamp into the part. That's another one down. Give this a little wipe. Try not to use the air on this because with it being an open machine, it kind of blows it everywhere. So every few parts, you know, I'll just vacuum all this up. Put this in. Make sure it's flat. Like that. Put my guard back. The guard is just so I don't make a giant mess. And then my program. So I just did Butterfree. I'm going to do Weedle. Execute. Press go. And that's it. Give this a quick wash. And basically just keep this thing going until I've done all 150. So I've still got quite a lot to go, but they're running pretty good. Turn the coolant down so it just dribbles on them now. Coolant's basically just for lubrication. Doesn't really do actually much coolant. But if I don't run coolant, then the finish is just not as good. And if I run too much coolant, this machine leaks really, really slowly from somewhere. And I have no idea where. But this is my kind of entrance area. It's a bit messy at the minute. So I'm gonna put my Pokemon poster there. I've already got the first line of the poster. So make sure you subscribe, because obviously you'll see more of this, or see it complete fairly soon. But I've also got a V12 motorcycle project I'm working on. Basically making transmission, the electrics, the frame, absolutely everything apart from the engine itself. Subscribe. Thanks.